I thought as a special tribute to Mathos, Marion the Elder, I would bring out my old compass here. Okay, so let's get see if I can get this in the picture here. There we go. So that symbol, in the green section here, as I stated before, or rather in the description, or perhaps in the first video, it's a combination of both those symbols. The one that I've been using, and then this one, I decided to investigate. And if you recognize that, that's actually the symbol used on the American dollar bill. Yes, to which much speculation, and there's many theories and conspiracies and that sort of stuff revolving around its meanings and stuff like that. Well, the one thing I can tell you is that it did come from geometry. And interestingly enough, when I formatted it with the symbol that I've been working with, which I refer to as a foundational symbol of geometry, why does this thing do that? I don't know. One of these days I'll actually get a real camera. So I found out that the two have something in common, and it just happens to align with the other one, with the foundational geometry symbol. And so going back to that symbol, you can work out the details as to why, how much of a gap there is in that symbol between its bottom and the top part. And this explains how much of a gap there is there. And there's other interesting things going on in that symbol. For example, I didn't fill in the sides here as appear to be in the actual symbol on the dollar bill. What you will notice is that there's an extended portion here on the side. It shows you a sliver of one side. And what they did was they made the top half equal to that portion that sticks out on the side, where it's not like this one here is aligned exactly with the bottom, but the symbol itself is actually a bit wider. And if you measure that, the angle of the top part, it's actually once again, I'm not going to say precisely, but for my kind of measurements, it seems to me that they intentionally made that bigger because it's approximately 51.42 degrees. In my estimation, either that or it's 51.85 or something, which is like the other one. But either way, there is a significance to why they made that a little bit wider on the top, because it matches what they've shown to be one of the sides. that's kind of their own geometrical illustrative ingenuity that they used in that symbol. I've never actually heard anyone mention that before, but anyways, that's something that I noticed. Apart from investigating its geometrical authenticity, which apparently it is, and essentially it's a 40-degree angle. And so that's 40, 70, 70. That's essentially what that is. There's a couple more things here. Let me just grab my notes. Okay. Back recording. Yeah. So it also appears to be, in a way, it's inspired from one of the illustrations from Mathos Marion the Elder. He did an illustration which I've talked about in another one of my videos here, the genius of Mathos. And although that one is a bit different, it deals with the compass on the side being opened up at 47 degrees, and things are a bit different. However, there are some very interesting correlations, because similar to his illustration, when I found where the square fit in, okay, in the base of this one, it lines up where the diagonals from the middle to the corners, when you draw that line, it intersects with that side of the slope right there, and that just happens to give you where the square fits. So that's interesting, and that's what made me think of Mathos right away. And the other thing is, this is a very, very interesting thing going on here as well, which is why I further believe that this symbol is actually derived from this geometry. This distance in here, okay, the length of this section here is equal to this length in here. Isn't that something? And like, this is kind of a bit mind-blowing for me, but perhaps not for you. And the other thing is this: the amount of gap in here, as shown in the actual symbol, it's where the triangle, it's the tip of the triangle here, and from the top of the square is where it continues again. Isn't that amazing? I mean, for kind of a geometry kind of nut like me, I'm just mind blown by this. And once again, it just, it made me think of Mathos Marion. And so I'm not sure what else I could say about this. I did make some notes here. I was hoping I didn't miss anything. Yeah, like I said, without getting into all the meanings and the different speculations and theories and conspiracies and all that, the one thing I can tell you is that it actually does come from geometry, and therefore it's an authentic symbol. And people have all kinds of things to say about whatever kinds of groups these days, in terms of I don't know, Illuminatis or Masons or something along the likes of these kinds of things. At one point in time, um, geometry was held as it was from the days of Plato up into the Renaissance and shortly after. There was a time when geometry was held in high regards, and it was a respected type of science. And so after finding this out, I actually have a different kind of respect for this symbol. So, I mean, what it means to other people and all that other information, I'm not going into that stuff. I'll leave that for somebody else. But the geometrical similarities here between the symbol that I've been working with lately, which was the triangle that fits in the square and the circle, and this one, as I decided to investigate the symbol off the American dollar bill, and the other stuff that I investigated regarding an illustration with Mathos Marion. They all have something in common here. Obviously, the common denominator is geometry, but there's a bit more than that going on here. So I'll leave it at that, and I hope that was interesting.